And I have two knives in here. This right here is it's a K-bar copy. It's made by Ontario, which is an official military maker. It's just not the K-bar. The finish isn't quite as nice on it, but it's Parkerized. It has a long blade, has enough belly for slicing, and you know what? A lot of Marines considered this a survival knife for many years. What I like it is I can chop with it, I can do the big chores with it, but yet it's not too heavy to put in a lightweight bob. When I designed this little bug out bag, I wanted it to be fairly lightweight. My main bob is kind of heavy, and so I just wanted this one to go. Maybe one of these days we'll talk about kits, some of the kits I've made. In here I have a fire kit, and there's a concept with survival knives. We might as well talk about that now. You know, no one knife does everything well, and so a lot of people, and I'm one of those people, really go to the big knife, little knife concept. I get a big knife for chopping, for doing the heavy work, and then I get a little knife for the details. And so a lot of my kits have two knives in them, one bigger and one smaller. This right here is made by Tool Logic, and you know, it's more of a gimmick. Again, somebody got me this for a present because I'm Joe, the survival guy. But I actually like it. You can open it with one hand. It has a serrated blade, which I can't stand, but that's what it came with. But the blade is decent. It's a lockback. It has a spark rod on it that makes sparks here. Will wow the audience at YouTube. Okay, you can start a fire with it, and has a whistle. So this is the perfect survival knife, right? Hey, you know what? It's not bad, and I keep it in the fire kit of my little go bag here. So that's the knife that I have in that kit. This right here is a bag that I carry behind the seat in my car. It's my little, you know, people call them get me home bags or something like that. It's not a bob, but you know, I can sling it over a shoulder and go, and it has things in it that I need, and some of those things are knives. Here's another Mora. I think I probably paid $9 whole for this. I love Moras. Moras aren't expensive. You're not going to impress your buddies with, you know, your high-speed tactical 3A Special Forces SOG buoy. But you know what? These knives work. They cut. This particular one is stainless steel. A lot of the ones I have are carbon steel. Like I said, it's probably $9. I wrapped some duct tape around the sheath just to have it. The sheath is tough. It has holes in it, so water will drain out. It's not really a chopper, guys, but it's a great slicer, and it's strong, and you know, I can do what I need to do to get home from my journey. And then I have a little knife in here, right in here. This is just your basic run-of-the-mill Swiss Army knife. Has two blades, a big blade and a little blade, a couple can openers. It doesn't have the gee-whiz stuff like the scissors and the saw and stuff like that, but it does have the all-important tweezers and toothpick in case you need it. I have a little fire kit on the end of that one too. And so that's kind of like my big knife, little knife concept there. All right, what's Joe carrying his bob? Carry two knives in my bob. I carry this. I bought a bunch of these surplus somewhere. They're German Army knives. It has a nice blade on it. It also has a great saw on it. Close this. Has a saw. It comes with a little shield. You can take the shield off, and then the teeth are there. The saw actually works like a Swiss Army knife saw does. I like them. They're cheap and they work well. And then I carry this for my big knife. And like I said, I used to carry the Cold Steel Trailmaster buoy. You can see that in the first video. But I carry this, and this is a prong. I got it in a Southeast Asian country where I was living once, and I just really like this knife, and a friend of mine gave it to me over there, and so it has some nostalgic value to it. But you can chop with this knife, you can slice with this knife, you can stab with this knife, and you can really fight with this knife if you have to, which hopefully we don't have to. But I like this knife, and this is the one I carry in my bob. You know, what do I use it for? Everything. I've used it. We were camping on a winter bob camp out one time, and all the trees were covered with ice. It had rained and frozen, and so how do you get a fire going? Well, you get some dead branches, you chop to the middle of them, you chop to the middle of that, and then you start making splinters. You have dry wood, you get a fire going, bada bing, bada boom. So sometimes you need a big knife. You could do that with a smaller knife. With the Mora that I talked about in the first video, I have batoned with it. You put it on a piece of wood that you're trying to split, and then you beat the knife down with another piece of wood, and you split it that way. It's easier to just whoa, and whack it with a knife, but you can do it with a smaller knife. Okay, so those are the knives that are in my bob. I carry this in one of my vehicles on the bucket seat. It's just a vest. I actually got this vest for $10. because they were discontinuing them, and I carry 2 knives in here. I carry a big knife down here. This again is a Cold Steel. This is starting to sound like a Cold Steel commercial, but I didn't intend it to. When I was in Special Forces, a guy actually gave me this knife because he didn't know how to sharpen it, which is something else you need to learn how to do. You need to learn how to sharpen your knives. You know, I'm a big guy for getting out and doing. You need to get out and do with your knives. You need to do stuff with your knives, and then you need to sharpen it so it's sharp again. Most knives come from the factory not as sharp as they can be, and so you can really touch up the knives before you use them. Maybe that's another video for another time. This is called the, what is this called? The SRK. I think it's Survival Rescue Knife or something. This is a sharpened pry bar. It's very thick. It is now very sharp, and I like it. I've done a lot of things. If you can see this up close, you can see I've used this knife hard. I've started fires with flint, the rock flint, not the little sparker strips. With this knife, it has carbon steel that'll do that. And then I have another knife in here. Right here. I got this from Cold Steel too. This is called the Roach Belly, and it was like, I don't know, $9, $5 or something. I really liked the shape, and I wanted to play with it, so I ordered it. And then after I played with it for a while, I stuck it in this vest kit. It has a lot of belly on it, as you can see. This is a great slicing knife, and it has a wicked sharp point. Pow! Chopper? No, it's not going to chop. That's why I have the other one. So that's my little knife in my vest kit. Oh, I have one more kit, and then we'll be done. This is kind of a funny story. I actually built this kit because I figured I'd walk around with my man bag, or my man purse, my merce, and it was a way for me to, so I thought, carry my firearm in the summertime, and that's what this is designed for. You can just stick it in and carry a gun. But you know what? Where I live, men don't carry these. And so people were actually staring at me when I would walk around with this, which was the exact opposite of trying to be discreet. And now I just pack with a loose shirt on, and people just think I'm a slob. But this has a knife in it, as you can imagine. I only have one in this kit. I built this kit. I was thinking, it'll be a light survival kit, but with room to stick stuff in it in case I had to, do something in an urban environment. This has what's called the Rat knife. I think it's the Rat 3. I like this knife a lot. I love the shape on it. It's really heavy duty for a little knife. It's I'm not into statistics and numbers, but it's thick. It has a thick blade on it. It has good steel. This one's brand new. I haven't used it, but I had one just like it that somebody gave me. I abused it. It was awesome, and I lost it. And so I was very sad, and I went out and bought this one. But these are great knives. This is the best little knife that I know of as far as toughness goes. If I had to have a little knife to go live on, it couldn't be bigger than this. I'd probably take this one. I haven't found one better than this. I don't know where you buy them. I got given the first one, and the second one, I think I typed in Rat 3 on the internet and bought it. It's made by Ontario. Probably costs around $50 or $60. I don't know. This is a good little knife though. So that's what I carry. That's what I use. I'll be fascinated in your comments on what you think and what you carry and what you like. But here's the bottom line, guys. Buy a quality knife, but it doesn't have to be a $400 knife. I have a phrase I use: why would you spend pistol money on a knife? Why would you spend rifle money on a pistol? It is a knife, after all. You are not going to chop concrete blocks with your knife. I mean, come on. And so buy a knife that's good, that's decent, play with it, use it, get familiar with it, and learn how to sharpen it so that you can keep it in a condition ready to use. I hope this has been helpful to you. I hope you liked it, and God bless you all. I'll see you out there.